First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BBE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at POSTWrestling.com, whatever podcast app you choose to use on the Post Wrestling feed. And it's 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time, which means
we are live on youtube.com/PostWrestling. Hello, Postmarks. How are we doing?
hello, all the postmarks. Hello, all the NXT friends.
Friends.
We are your NXT friends, and we're here to talk about some NXT like we always do here at Post Wrestling. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Maybe you're wrestled out from this weekend. Like every weekend, there's going to be wrestling every weekend, it seems, going forward. So get used to it if you're someone who likes to watch it all, or you're a cherry picker or whatever it is. But the wrestling never stops. NXT never stops. And we're hot off of WWE NXT Heatwave and Forbidden Door this past weekend. So lots of wrestling. And like we said, it never stops. But thanks for joining us on this journey. Maybe you're a sicko like us and watch way too much wrestling, but we love it.
Yes, a little bit of housekeeping. There'll be a few little changes to the schedule over the next couple of weeks as Braden, you're off to Japan on Thursday. Is it you're leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Which is super exciting. So we'll be having some guests who will be filling in with me. So just check our socials as to when we'll be going live, because it won't necessarily be Tuesday at 10:05 p.m. Also, if you follow us on Poisonrana, and if you don't, why not? Please do like and subscribe our Poisonrana page on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcasts. But over the next couple of weeks, we won't necessarily be doing the show on Sunday. We won't be this Sunday because both of us will be away. The following week, I'll try and have someone to fill in as well as I will be covering the Worlds Collide show in a couple of weeks as well. So
Excellent.
For the first couple of weeks of September, we'll still be releasing stuff. We've got some shows banked we're going to be putting out there. I'm going to have some people guest spot for Braden. But yeah, just make sure you follow our socials, which is at Poisonrana Pod, so we can keep you posted with what we're doing here at Up Next and Poisonrana.
Absolutely. Yes, we will continue to have some coverage. Like you said, you're going to be joined by some fun people in the post-wrestling Poisonrana world, as well as all the chat. You're going to do Worlds Collide. That's going to be fun. I know in a few weeks, I'm sure we'll have a card. It looks like it's more WWE, not so much NXT kind of Worlds Collide, but still interesting about that. By the time I'm back the weekend after that, it'll be like No Mercy, as we've already got some matches announced for No Mercy from tonight's episode of NXT. So we'll definitely be talking about that and previewing weeks to come. And then now also the Halloween Havoc down the line too. So all the coverage. I know. No, is it No Mercy is a Saturday show, and of course our disdain on Saturday PLEs. So it's probably safe to say we will be reviewing No Mercy on the Sunday afternoon. And we'll definitely, yes, no matter what happens in between that, we will reunite and we will be chatting No Mercy and filling in all the gaps. But I think we'll possibly be doing an Up Next together some way, shape, or form. So we'll make it happen. And And the Patreon will keep going. You have some things lined up. We're recording a WrestlePalooza 1997 tomorrow for the Patreon from ECW to tie in with WWE bringing back WrestlePalooza. So looking forward to that. I am going to DDT Peter Pan, so maybe I'll record something a day or two into my trip after going to that show, going to Corcoran Hall. Very excited about that. So do a little solo snap Rana, if you will, on the Patreon. So the content will still keep coming, and I'll maybe give reviews on 7-Elevens and Lawson's and Family Marts and all that stuff. So konnichiwa, bitches. And appreciate all the listeners out there following and supporting. Like you said, we're not going to stop with the content and the wrestling. I'll come back and have missed like what will feel like a year of wrestling. If it's
probably, it's probably been a year's worth of shows in that space of time that you're away. It is crazy the amount of stuff that's being pumped out right now. You mentioned we're doing WrestlePalooza. We're looking at 1997 WrestlePalooza from ECW. This, I know things have changed with rights fees, networks, Peacock, CSPNs, etc., etc. But someone has been very kind and has added the show to the Internet Archive for your viewing pleasure. So it's absolutely free to watch. So if you do want to watch that show to listen along with our review and maybe leave some feedback, it is available on there on the Internet Archive. And we have posted the feedback thread on our Facebook page where you can get that link as well.
Yeah, we've done a ton of shows. Patreon.com/Poisonrana. If you haven't ever checked it out, it's easy to use. It connects to your podcast, RSS feed, all that stuff. And there are so many retro pay-per-view reviews like ECW events, heat waves we've covered. We've done best match evers, movie reviews. Was Next, our retro NXT review show, and so much more. So there's so many shows in that catalog to keep you entertained and to check out all the fun stuff. I'm sure there's movies or specific wrestling events or best match evers that will tickle your pickles. So go check out our Patreon. It's $5 for a whole month's access. And we've done some fun shows, like recently the Champ is Here series. You get all the episodes of that. We had our friend Kev from Geekcentric Pod chatting episode 11, the 11th win and reign. But we'll dispute on this episode a lot. It's very heavy, this episode. Does this even count? Does this reign even count? Is John Cena actually just technically 16 tied with Ric Flair? So you got to listen to this show for the big debate and maybe why we are right. And this whole 17-time thing is a sham, and Rey Mysterio getting punked out by Cena. But we've been going through all of John Cena, so that's another show series that we have. And yeah, we love talking all about other stuff, not just NXT, even though we love talking about NXT. Good or bad, we're here for you, and we're going to talk about it. This is, what is it, a good old NXT hangover edition here.
Absolutely. I'm pretty it's been a crazy few days.
Wait, is it an NXT hangover or is it an upNXT hangover? Because maybe we're just a little hungover. Right? Is that correct?
I feel pretty good. I wouldn't say I feel hungover today, but I do feel beaten up because I don't know how we made it through Sunday, because Sunday was crazy. We had obviously our party at Wide Open, the watch party for Forbidden Door. Thank you everyone that came along to that. I know we actually found some new listeners who kind of found out about our podcast through these watch parties. So shout out everyone who we had people over for like Fan Expo and stuff, and were just in the city and wanted to watch the pay-per-view. So had a great time there at Wide Open. Thank you to Shannon, our friend, the owner of the bar, who let us be geeks and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we booked it over and recorded the Heatwave review, which if you haven't listened to yet is on this very feed. I know there was a lot of wrestling going on. Maybe you're a little bit behind on Heatwave. You can go back and check out that review. So it was a hell of a day. And then I go to work the next morning and you're messaging me being like, hey, I really want to go see Oasis. I've got the FOMO now. Everyone's talking about it. Seeing everyone walk around town looking like dickheads. I want to go to Oasis. And you convinced me, and I went a second time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We went to the Rogers Stadium, not the Rogers Center, right? We didn't make that mistake. but it is literally a janky stadium. What did they call it? Legoland?
Stadium is putting it politely. Like they're having creative license with that word stadium, I think.
Right.
The Rogers car park with added seats is more accurate, I think. But quite a bit of a difference from that and Wembley Stadium. But
yeah, absolutely. Like this is just like a giant like car park. You know, they did do the giant thing, the SARS Fest. It was like AC/DC, like Rush, Rolling Stones, Justin Timberlake, famously
2003, I think.
And then like the Pope came to the city. That was a big deal. And like every year, Veld, the electronic music festival, it's held like around that area, but it's really like uptown. It's not like downtown Toronto. So it's really I guess it's great for people who maybe don't live in the city and it's kind of closer. They don't have to go all the way down. But there's so many people who bought hotels or travelers thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to the venue. It's right near my hotel. It's like, no, you're booked near the Sky Dome, which it should have just been. But
I said to everyone though who did that, I was like, don't be disappointed by that. You do not want to be staying out there. You want to be staying down here where all the fun is and just make your way there for the show. Like I think, like, you know, we've been WrestleManias and things. Stadiums aren't always in the center of the city, and I think it's, of course, you know, it took me about 40 minutes to get there, which isn't too bad, but there needs to be stuff there. There's absolutely nothing around the venue, so it's not like you can really go and pregame there. You can't really even tailgate there, as there's no car park for this venue either. Right. So all of that's a little, and then the drink prices, man, they know they can get you, but $44 for 2 cans of Hard Mike's lemonade is robbery. Disgusting.
You know, around WrestleMania Vegas this year, we reviewed the original WrestleMania 9, and it's like the similar thing. Like they just built this random stadium in a parking lot. It's kind of the same thing. Like there's no parking lot, you mentioned, because it kind of was the parking lot for other events that go on before it was built. So it's like them testing out, like Toronto. The Sky Dome, the Rogers Center, was such a cool thing when it was made. But now, especially going to like WrestleMania, but football fans in the States, I'm sure would know, or footy fans in Europe with your stadiums. But like, there's only like what, 40,000, maybe 50 pushing. I know WrestleMania 18 maybe had like 60, but when you go to the other stadiums, there's a lot more. They're fitting like 90, 100 sometimes, like almost. So I understand why for the last 10 years, the city here in Toronto have been like, should we just demolish the Rogers Center and build an even bigger one? But it's like, no, we can't do that. So this was them like finding a Band-Aid solution. But it was cool to be part of history, almost going to this weird ass state. Like we didn't go in the stands. I told you we're too posh for that. You know, we're too posh and modern out. But we went on. We had like, you know, ground floor, the way a concert should be at a rock band, right? Like we were in the crowd essentially, and we kept looking at these janky ass high school bleachers. Like there's high schools in Florida that have bigger stadiums for their football teams than this thing. Yeah. But so I that part was full. So like they're a draw, but I didn't want to be on those janky ass bleachers. Like I'm happy we didn't do that. I don't think my experience would have been as good if we didn't do it.
No, I'm glad I was floor. It was, I kind of was looking only for floor seats. So when I saw one at a reasonable price, and I say that it being 2025, I had a great time. What did you think? Obviously I'd seen them, and I loved it first time round, but what did you make of the show?
Yeah, you know what, like I'm born in 91, so listening to the radio growing up, shout out The Edge in Toronto, like that's all I would hear. And like over the years, as I grew up and like would listen to their music, and of course, like we go to karaoke a lot, so you always hear not just Wonderwall, but you always hear people singing their songs and stuff. And I've always been a fan, but I just was in the back of my head that I'd never be able to see these guys full on. A few years ago, we went, it was pretty cheap just to see Noel's band, right? Like, and he was great. Don't get me wrong. Actually, we really loved it. And Garbage opened and they were awesome. But that made me want to see them together even more, actually. And I'm sure that was fans for the last like 20 years. So it's almost like they'll never get back together. And then they do. And like only a few years ago is the same thing with another band I love from my youth is Blink 182. And it was like, no, they'll never. And then they did. I was like, man, this is how it is. If you're a fan of something, wrestling, music, artists, bands. Like the clock is ticking. If you like them that much, tomorrow is not promised. And while they're on tour and you can see them, 2025 prices. If you like them enough and you can afford it and it's not costing half your rent, like, hey, it might, but then you might be eating ramen for a few weeks. Like, go see what you love, because like, hey, the tour could not even finish with them bickering and stuff. Liam just being a little cheeky cunt half the time, but like that's the draw for them, right? So it was really cool. They're a band I've definitely like always wanted to see. Specific songs especially like was great. And then there's the Liam factor, which is kind of like, I've seen Kanye years ago. He's still in my canceled list right now, but like how he's, like I said, he's a cheeky bastard. So he's always like saying things and like cutting promos. And like, it was just,
he walks around Toronto and sees that there's a few mushroom dispensaries. And therefore he's decided we're all, what did he call us? Mushy heads.
Yeah. Well, he kept saying, I love British slang and stuff, but like, y'all right, love. Y'all right out there. He said, I don't know if he was tripping on mushrooms, but he brought up mushrooms quite a few times. And he always, what's one of Liam's catchphrases? What are you saying? What are you saying? And then he then talked about what, like, oh, hey, where's all my real drug takers at? Where's all the glue sniffers? And he's like, all right, this one's for you. It's like, and then by the end, like, okay, as far as encores go, is the three-peat encore that they do at the end like maybe the best encore I've ever witnessed, and will never be like, think about the 3 encores. Is he comes out, he talks some songs, talks some shit again, they play something, and then he goes, you all right, well, anyways, here's fucking Wonderwall. And then they just like one of the most popular songs. It was the first time ever where me and you kept joking each other like, play Wonderwall, and then the band that plays Wonderwall actually played Wonderwall. But what was it, like Wonderwall,
Don't Look Back in Anger, Champagne Supernova.
That's
with all the fireworks going off at the end. Yeah.
3. No, great set list. They played some, like, obviously some of their bangers, but then they had some of the other deeper cuts that you could appreciate as well. But yeah, no, super solid. And maybe they'll break up again.
With the encore though, like, what if everyone wasn't loud enough and they're like, now we're going home, and it's over. Or the people that leave. The people that go, oh, well, that's the end of the show. Yeah, sure. They just weren't going to play Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger.
I'm pretty sure Blink did that when we went. They were like, hey, we're not actually just going to walk off. Okay, pretend we left. Okay, now cheer. Okay, all right, we're going to play the encore now. It's like, oh, yeah. Just we're old. We don't need to get to that shit. But they hammed it up. It was in the middle of nowhere. And I guess Oasis got the pyro because that shit was pretty crazy too. But yeah, great show. Honestly, I'm really happy I got to see them do it.
I was amazed the tourism they brought in as well. They've been so, like, my work has been so busy from people just
all day today
for Oasis, and we get that for concerts and things. But I like people traveling overseas. We've had so many British people who couldn't get tickets in the UK, so they decided to make a holiday out of it and come over here. It was Oasis are a draw. Who'd have thought?
Not Robbie Williams, is what I've learned. Robbie Williams sings Little by Little, right? That's a Robbie Williams cover?
No, you were convinced. They start singing Little by Little, and they're like, they're doing a Robbie song. I'm like, they're not, Braden. It's like, no, this song's Robbie. It's Robbie Williams. And like, it's really not. This is
I'm convinced. I'm convinced it's Robbie. They should do some songs together now. They could squash. I learned all about their beef today. It's basically the Suge Knight, of the British Suge Knight at the BTV Awards when Robbie Williams at some British MTV Euros calls him out and tries to fight Liam and stuff. And now I'm all in the lore now of Liam. I've been watching best of Liam videos. He's just funny.
I mean, it is, part of it is very like WWE AEW as well. Like Oasis played Nebworth, which is one of the biggest shows ever, and like just thousands of people. And what was the attendance? Their attendance was 250,000 fans over 2 nights that Oasis did. So 125K a night. And they'd rub it into Robbie quite a lot. Like, you're never going to be able to do that.
Right.
Well, Robbie Williams did 375,000 over 3 nights at Nebworth.
Wow.
So it's always that kind of competing against each other and relationships involved as well. But you should watch Better Man, the Robbie Williams movie.
The monkey one.
It goes on the feud quite a bit, but no, fantastic show. Had an awesome time, and glad I went.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The vibes were immaculate. There was so many dudes who looked like Zack Sabre Jr. wearing bucket hats, and there was people throwing what I imagine, and I hope it wasn't, but it looked like piss. So the piss cups, the myth. I guess they were Brits over here because that's gross. You
go to Corricuan Hall and you get the streamers. You go to an Oasis concert and you get cups of piss flying.
It's weird though because we're in Toronto, and this is a little if you know. But asking people when you said you weren't sure if you wanted to go Monday morning, I was messaging friends like, "Hey, you want to go to Oasis tonight?" That means a whole different thing in this city.
Yeah.
It's the name of a sex club. Yeah. Anyways, Google it. I guess I don't know. Send them some free promo. But yes, a great time. Good to see the parkas, the bucket hats, the Adidas. It was totally worth it. And the summer's somewhat coming to an end. I guess I don't want to say it quite yet, but I won't accept it. But I got to see some great shows this summer. But that one was pretty sweet. So definitely worth it. Good times, good vibes. All around. We had like after that, I'm feeling beat. We made it to Sneaky D's and had Death from Above nachos, and then I thought you had died, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna walk. So I was like, I'm going home, and we made the right call, I think.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah. Well, if you missed our show on Sunday, we did make an announcement that if you are in the Toronto area and going to All Out, or just, around in the city that day as well, we are going to be doing a little pre-party at Gabby's 309 King West. There is absolutely no cover for this event. We're going to have hopefully some karaoke on the go, some wrestling music playing, drink specials, prizes, but most importantly, you just get to hang out with us. John and Wei have promised they'll be there. They'll be off daddy duty that day and be able to come and hang out with us all. There'll be a load of other post-wrestling Poisonrana personalities there as well, and just get to hang out with listeners and stuff. We did this last year for what was the show last year?
Money in the Bank?
Money in the Bank, was it? Yeah, and we had a great time. So if you are in the area, go to Poisonrana.ca. It will take you to the link with our Eventbrite, just so you can get all the information. But 2 till 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 20th of September. Have I got that right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this. We hang out with our crew. Not only you say John and Wei aren't going to be on daddy duty. Absolutely. They're going to be taking care of us, Davey. They're going to be taking care of us after your wrestling themed drink specials. I'm imagining the Poisonrana will continues to be a hit. The Tiger Driver 91 could be the move, could be the drink that puts you out. There's the chocolate kisses. There's going to be some new ones, some old favorites, and maybe even
the chocolate kisses were popular, and then people were like, why is it called this? Because they weren't aware of Queen Aminata's game,
right?
But
exactly,
we soon educated them.
Was that me walking around the bar showing everyone, look at this move, the chocolate kisses? Move over, Vicaire. We got chocolate kisses now. All right, Devil's Kiss chocolate kisses. There you go.
Yes, the Star, pretty tasty as well.
I'm very excited about this. If you are going to All Out, and hey, you're a listener, Post Wrestling, longtime Law fans, whatever it may be, we would love to see you guys out for All Out. We may be convinced or get drunk enough to do some wrestling karaoke. Hey, maybe if you want to sing some Oasis too, we'll let that fly. But we want to hang out with the Post Wrestling crew. Eric Marcotte might fight Jack Wannon, so who knows what could happen at Gabby's Saturday, September 20th. Free to show up. Again, Poisonrana.ca for the link. You can click you're attending and let us know, but it's absolutely free. You don't need to. You can just show up here. And the Toronto wrestling weekend hopefully will be great here in this city. I know Smash Wrestling. There's Mystery Wrestling as well. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got to shout out Our boys Demand Lucha, though.
Oh, yeah.
Always putting on a hell of a show. We went last Thursday night in Parkdale Hall. And again, Demand Lucha know how to do it. Honestly, this is my favorite indie wrestling promotion in the city. And these guys always outdo it themselves. I don't know how, but they do. Jordan at Demand, we love you. And every show we come out of it with just big smiles on our faces. So love Demand Lucha.
I think I might have found my new favorite wrestler, or at least my gimmick of the year. I'm putting it in right now as of August 26th, 2025, when it comes to December time and we're doing best and worst of.
Right.
Kingsley might have my best gimmick.
We're new.
Stole the show.
We might be new to her, but this was the first time for us seeing her. But from Sydney, Australia, we're not sure if she's a Toronto, Ontario, or Canadian indie circuit, or works more in the States or Australia. We're not quite sure. We're actually not super familiar. But they did a Lucha Battle Royal, and it had all different gimmicks and some surprises and stuff like that. And indie guys from and gals from all over. And Jody Threat ended up winning that one. But this Kingsley girl comes out, kind of an Australian Roxanne Perez. And then her gimmick is she's like a pop star. So she sings and then she keeps singing, but like done really well. So at first glance, we're already big fans of this Kingsley. So I don't know if anyone's familiar, but
she's got a Spotify. I'm looking into
no
it now.
way. Oh, put her on NXT. That would be fantastic.
She's in a band called the Backslide Girls, by the looks of it. There's only one song which is called "We're the Backslide Girls."
Of all the wrestling moves, I know we're called Poisonrana, but of all the wrestling moves, the backslide girls. All right, interesting. Okay, we really
with a Z as well. So
we loved Demand Lucha, and got a shout out. What was it? Gringo versus Tim was great, but Joey Janela versus Arez, like fantastic, worth the show alone on that match. But yeah, I know they're doing a show September 25th in Parkdale again. So again, Toronto wrestling people. That is the one to check out. They're always blowing my mind. They got Mascara Dorada coming in from CMLL and stuff. So yeah, shout out to Man Lucha, and shout out your indies. Support your indies wherever you may be, because you go to these shows and support these up and coming wrestlers and stuff. And one day you'll see them on TV and you'll be like, I watch those people. It happens to us all the time. So go support your local indie wherever you're. Toronto, New York, Japan, whatever it may be. Support local wrestling. But yeah, shout out Demand.
Shall we get into some NXT?
Absolutely. Let's talk about the fallout from the heat wave, which is pretty on point because today in Toronto it's kind of cold. Yeah, it's a little chilly today, actually.
It's definitely dropped this week, but I have faith it's gonna come back. Summer isn't over yet. It's still August, damn it.
Wait, is that what I smell? Was that spooky season? Is that pumpkin spice?
Hey, shut up. NXT August 26th, 2025, live from the Performance Center. And we kick things off. Ricky Saints comes out and he says he'd put his money on Javon, but it just wasn't his day. And says, I've been here 6 months, and already in that time, I've done so many things, and I've been North American champion. But he says he did come here for one thing, and that was to be NXT champion, and he calls his shot on Oba Femi. However, out comes Josh Briggs. And Josh Briggs says, nope, don't get carried away, because since you came in here, you've been walking around like you're some sort of God's gift to this business. And goes, I will give you a compliment. The hype is real, but I am fed up of outsiders like you and Inamura getting shots they don't deserve. And your talent couldn't touch me if I even gave it a 5-year head start, and neither can you. And did you get what the crowd were chanting here? They were going, we want, but I couldn't make out what they were saying.
Was it we want Javon or we want Evans? Or I honestly, I couldn't tell. They were very, like, this has been common lately, but they're booing Josh Briggs like so loud that power to him. We said it weeks ago, like power to him. He can manage through it, but it's also hard to hear what is necessarily going on because it's just I don't know if there's like 100 people in this crowd, but they're loud booing this guy. So I guess it's working.
So Ricky says that he calls him Sid from Toy Story. He says Josh looks like Sid from Toy Story, and you want to talk about position and getting to the back of the line. Well, I am the line, and the only way to handle it is right here, right now. This is when Ava comes out and says that no one has heard from Javon since Heatwave, so we do need a new number one contender. And this sets up for later in the night, Josh Briggs versus Ricky Saints.
I like Ricky, and I like Toy Story. So I just Googled Sid from Toy Story. I don't quite see it. A little bit of a reach there, Ricky. A long reach.
I think it's the clothes, isn't it? Like the black and the chains and that kind of thing.
Sid does not wear vests. Sid does not dress like he's in the Aces and Eights. Sid is just a kid with a short haircut.
Will Poulter is Sid from Toy Story.
Yes,
they look
100%.
Yeah, bizarre.
I know that we're Toy Story fans, so I have to defend that. As much as I like the reference and I like the dig, I just think the dig could maybe be saved on someone that it fits a lot. Because if you put a comparison of Josh Briggs and Sid, I don't see it. But nice one, Ricky.
Absolutely. So that match is set for later in the evening, and then we get a clip from Sunday, which was of Blake Monroe approaching Ava. A lot of Ava on this show. And Monroe wants a shot at the title, and Kelani Jordan's there, and she's said she's fed up of working hard and other people getting shots over her. And Blake says, oh, well, you're just sad because you lost. Well, Ava sets up a match between those two for tonight. I didn't quite I know they do these things sort of little backstage things that they show online and set up for matches. But this is coming literally right after Kelani Jordan just lost a number one contenders match on the pay-per-view. And then she's complaining that other people are getting shots ahead of her. I found it a little backwards how they got here.
Yeah, but it's classic NXT, but it's just a way to set up this match with Blake. It's totally fine. I mean, it's the same earlier with Ricky's Josh was someone who's calling out, and all of a sudden they're going to. It's whatever. They're moving.
But at least Ricky and Josh have both won their feuds recently. You know, they've had big feuds. They've won it. They're leveling up. Kelani Jordan was literally just in a number one contenders match, which she didn't win, and is complaining that other people are getting shots at the title before her. I don't know.
Everyone keeps getting shots at the title, but you just lost the triple threat match for the number one contendership. Yeah, well, I'm just mad that I lost, I guess, is what she's saying.
So we go to this match. Blake lands a headbutt and a big right hand to take advantage and delivers a armbar like Salt of the Earth style with a nice bridge, which commentary are it's clear she's been in Japan because look at that armbar.
Clearly, yes.
Clearly. Kelani counters this with a roll-up, and then Kelani hits her RVD-esque step-over kick, but is still selling the arm, delivers a kind of DDT-style X-Factor, and this is where Blake rolls out of the ring when Jordan Grace's music hits, and Grace starts chasing Blake around just like the other week, but this time the fire escape has been chained shut. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. If there was a issue here,
lawsuits, complete lawsuits. Imagine being in that audience tonight, knowing that Jordan Grace, a WWE employee, put your life at risk. Your safety was at risk because she chained up the fire escape. I hope they learn from this mistake. Very dangerous. Very disappointing to see that, Jordan. You're supposed to be a babyface.
So Grace says, where are you going? You got a match. Get back in the ring. She chases her back into the ring, and this is where Kelani hits her modified angle slam, followed by the one-of-a-kind split-legged moonsault, and Kelani Jordan pins Blake Monroe.
Yeah, it was really quick, and then they went to that spot, and then they kind of job out Blake, but because they're clearly continuing the Jordan Grace feud and everything with this, but Kelani getting some cool stuff in the execution, like you said, the sit-out facebuster. The one-of-a-kind always looks good. But Yeah, I didn't get like the full match out of this that maybe like we would get maybe one day if they were to go back to this. But continuing the Jordan Gray stuff, like the match was okay on Heatwave as we talked about, but the feud itself has been not great. So maybe they can turn it around, but I don't know. This wasn't necessarily anything to write home about.
Yeah, I didn't like this. Like it felt a little plodding, which isn't normally the case for a Kelani Jordan match. It felt a lot slower than her normal matches, and it just felt like they were waiting for the spot to happen with Jordan Grace coming out. Yeah, and I'm not interested in continuing this feud between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe either. So this didn't do a whole lot for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get No Mercy. You do like maybe some sort of rematch, a grudge match, gimmick match. I don't know, but they can maybe turn it around, but we'll see.
We get our NXT Focus, which has an interview with Myles Borne, and he says, contrary to what Lexis believes, I am indeed mostly deaf, and people like him just don't get it, as we're getting recaps for this entire feud with Lexis thinking he's faking being deaf and then believing that Myles is blind and then actually trying to blind him with some mace or whatever that was, leading to this blindfold match. Myles Borne makes his entrance and he's asked on the ramp how his eyes are. And he says, well, you know what? This is going to be tough unless you, the crowd, can let me know when I'm near Lexis. He goes, I may be deaf, but I can still feel your energy and I can still feed off it. So if you see me getting close to Lexis, scream and go crazy as he's firing up this crowd. And they were pretty into Myles Borne here.
Yeah, okay, like it's so silly, but wrestling is silly. So you got to let it slide. Yes, they show clips of like, you know, the old blindfold matches throughout WWF, WWE history. So at least it's not like this is some bad gimmick NXT came up with. No. This is a bad gimmick someone came up with many, many years ago. But now they've worked it into this way. It's so stupid. But again, it's wrestling, so it's what it is. But in fairness, Lexis King blinds Myles Borne. So wouldn't Lexis King just want a regular match with Myles because he's blind and deaf now? But instead they make it a blindfold match?
Well, it was Ava who made it a blindfold match,
right?
Not Lexis.
Okay,
yeah.
So now they're both blind in it, right? Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm like, okay, let's see what I don't know. It's NXT and Lexis King's in a blindfold match.
So they bring up the first blindfold match being
was it WrestleMania?
It's WrestleMania, and I think we talked about it on Worst Match Ever WrestleMania.
Really?
Rick Martel versus Jake the Snake Roberts from. It's one of the early ones. Is it 3 even? WrestleMania 7. Okay, WrestleMania.
I knew in my heart that I despised blindfold matches, and now you're saying we've done a show. We've only done one ever worst match ever podcast, and it was worst match ever WrestleMania for a post wrestling podcast day. And yes, a blindfold match was on. I remember now. Yes, and this one was better. There's our review for this match. This one's a lot better, but. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Vic brings up that we did last have a blindfold match in WWE in NXT in 2020. Now, he mentioned Rick Martel and Jake Roberts was in the first one, but didn't mention who was in the last one. Do you remember?
Oh, my God. I should. I definitely watched it. We definitely did a show on it probably. But you don't know how much NXT we watch, people. It all blurs together when you watch it turns my brain to NXT mush. Give me some sort of clue. Don't just give it to me. But in 2020, Johnny Gargano, was it The Way?
It was not.
Okay.
My clue is the fact that they didn't mention who it is, which normally means, you know, once you leave NXT or WWE, we don't mention your names anymore. So who was a character that was always being thrown dumb shit to do, but usually he made it work quite well?
Fuck, that's half the NXT roster post 2020. Duke Hudson. I don't know. I can't. Who was in it? Just tell me.
Cameron Grimes
and Duke Hudson.
Loomis.
Oh, and
Cameron
Dexter
Grimes,
Loomis.
Yeah.
I was on the right track. I was on.
Yeah.
I was close.
Right era.
Yeah.
And people who've been thrown shit and somehow make it work. Yeah.
Cameron Grimes. Wow.
Cameron
I wonder
Grimes
how
is
he's
the
doing.
King of that. Yeah.
Trevor Lee. And
I
still
haven't
wear
really
the
heard
hat?
of him much. It's a shame. I liked him and his hat.
Yeah.
So
we've had a blindfold match in NXT before. It shows you how much I actually watch the show every week. But so you're saying 5 years ago we had a blindfold match, and now this is the next. I'm sure main roster hasn't done it since, but
yes,
probably.
We Lexis at first doesn't want to put the blindfold on. Eventually he does, and they are kind of struggling around the ring, trying to find each other. They both touch each other and go to throw punches, but completely miss. And then they go back to back and they grapple. And there's a big drop kick from Myles. And then as Lexis is running the ropes, Myles gets out the way and Lexis sort of goes for a suicide dive or whatever, just completely eating shit, flying out the ring. This was pretty funny. Like it was...
Yeah,
as if he's going for a clothesline or a shoulder block or something and just goes completely flying to the outside.
Yeah, so this is very playing on the WrestleMania one, at least, where they're like, can't see, they're falling over, but Lexis King is just like cartoon comically over the top here. From the tope to then he feels the ring post. Why would you think
over the ring?
Like he goes up against the ring post and you would know it's a ring post. And then he decides to chop it. It's like, dude, you could feel... Anyways. And then he trips over the steps. It's like, man, don't you know what's a ring? Like, all of a sudden, when you put this blindfold on, you're just stupid. You just don't remember anything. And like, so again, it's silly. We got to suspend our belief a little bit, but bless him for...
I mean, I do believe this guy is stupid. So
Who, Lexis King? What?
Yeah.
No. What do you mean? No.
Now, Lexis goes for a drop kick, which he completely misses, and then finds Myles, hits him with a body slam, and goes to follow up with an elbow drop, but Myles moved away a long time ago. Myles then goes for a knee drop, but he completely misses, and then goes for a super kick, but almost kicks the ref. They then find each other in the middle of the ring, start trading strikes. There's a clothesline from Myles, and he maintains wrist control. So he continues to deliver clotheslines, and then King accidentally pokes the ref in the eye. And as the ref is like hurting from this, he lifts up the hood so he can see where Myles is, hits him with the low blow, the coronation, and Lexis King wins.
As silly as it was, the finish was pretty great for like a heel. Like, what a sleazy... This guy's already a dickhead, but he maced him a few weeks ago, and then now he was just feeling the ref's face. That's how people say hello, in some ways. So maybe that's what he was trying to do. And then I thought that was pretty genius and pretty much what I was expecting, because this feud is got to lead to a non-blindfold one-on-one like solid. Because now like this is it 1-1? I forget what happened leading up to this. I'm pretty sure Myles beat him. So the feud continues, the story continues, but my favorite part of this was a Booker T quote, a Booker bite, as I like to say, as Booker had me howling. Vic Joseph and Book, no Corey, right? Because he's overseas. Vic Joseph to Book during this match. You could tell Booker T didn't like this match to begin with. He already was like, this is stupid, essentially. But Vic was like, hey, you ever wrestle in some sort of blindfold match? And Booker T was like, God, no, I would never do that. And he goes, oh, like, why not? He's like, well, because I had agents when I was a wrestler. And Vic is like, what? I don't follow. He's like, yeah, I had agents to make sure I wouldn't do this kind of stupid stuff. So I was like, fair enough, Book. Yeah, you were probably right. Yeah.
I'm sure we could pinpoint a lot of times when those agents were not doing their job too well for Booker T.
I'm going to search Booker T blindfold match. Let's make sure. Okay, all right. He hasn't had one, but yeah. Wait a second. Wait. No, yeah.
Yeah, like I think this is so dumb. Like I can't imagine people, they announce a blindfold match and there's some fans like losing their mind. Oh my God, they're going to have a blindfold match, these two. But for what it was, I thought they made the best of it, and it was there were some fun spots. I enjoyed Lexis just diving to the floor outside, and the some of it was quite good for what it was. But I don't want to see this on TV personally.
Okay, so just while we're on the topic, I guess I'm looking up other blindfold matches. There's been quite a few. I see Chavo fought Santino Marella.
Wasn't there one? It was like Team Hell No against Primetime Players or something like that. I remember that during their feud, they'd have like one arm behind the back match and all that kind of stuff.
I remember. Was I crazy? I swear there was an Austin Theory one where he was. I'm gonna have to look this up. But Austin Theory blindfold match. Did this happen? Am I crazy? I don't know. Maybe. Oh yeah, blindfold. I don't know. I don't know if everything's AI these days, but blindfold match, best match ever, blindfold match. One day we'll have to do, I guess. But I'm okay with not having another one for 5 years. But I'll admit I got some laughs out of it, so at least it was that. So we'll get a rematch between the two. And Myles, like, he's great, and he's just kind of stuck in this Lexis King vortex, I guess, to say that phrase. But like, not the most exciting.
Okay, I'm not crazy. I think this is saying here, what was it? That, Primetime Players versus Team Hell No happened in a blindfold match.
You're completely lying. Why are you lying to me?
Good
Mandela effect.
Good stuff, yeah. Oh,
what other stupid gimmicks could we see with this? Like, what's next? Like, no, we said on Heatwave, but like, he's already attacked his eyes. He needs to go after his other senses, his sixth sense, maybe, possibly. That's where Lexis needs to go.
The sixth sense. What?
Yeah,
like
you see dead people and Halloween Havoc's coming. You know, gotta get into that.
Sorry, my computer's just playing up here.
Well, tell it to
find.
Fucking
I shouldn't have been searching for blindfold matches. It's kind of
because now we're going blindfold right now.
Yeah, literally, I can't open. Okay, here we go. You might want to
Googling funny things,
right? Oh my god. Sorry, this is playing up.
Well, hit it.
Do you want to introduce the next segment, and I'll try and
sure. Absolutely. We go to Charlie backstage with Wren Sinclair, and he kind of set up the match for her from last week, right? Where he was talking about like she could beat you two and stuff. So there is a match, but she had to find a partner to face the Culling. So Charlie brings in his guest partner, and it's exactly who we assumed it would be. It was Kendal Gray. So she's there, but then Charlie kind of plays off that like her chops weren't that hard. So as she accepts and that she'll be with them, she walks by and she chops Charlie, and he's like, oh, her chop was pretty good. Oh, maybe she does have a good chop. So setting up for that match, which is next.
So it's as we thought. I'm going to try and just read my notes off my phone because my screen is completely frozen right now, but you can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, as we thought, we're getting Wren Sinclair teaming with Kendal Gray to take on Izzy and Tatum. Kendal and Wren show some nice teamwork early, and then Wren hits this bulldog to Tatum for a 2 count. Kendal then comes in and delivers a really nice belly-to-belly suplex throw over the head, and then a slingshot double stomp followed by a flatliner. And as Tatum goes in the ropes about to hit like a kind of springboard move, Izzy tags herself in, and Tatum looks a little bit confused by this. And Izzy just takes out everyone. She's delivering big boots, hits the sky high as Kendal has Tatum locked in a submission, but Izzy decides not to break the hold and just go for the win instead. And Izzy Dame basically kills the two of them in pretty convincing fashion.
Yeah, not much of a match, but I like Wren. I like how she, I don't know. She always like steals the scene when she's in it, and every time she's been on TV, she's usually pretty good. So they got squashed here, but I liked what I see from Wren always. But I like Kendal Gray as well. Like she hit some pretty impressive stuff. There's like a double stomp thing. There's like a jumping flatliner. Like she definitely can go in the ring. It's just maybe finding a character, a personality and stuff. But now introducing her, weaving her into TV a bit more, I think they could have something with her just again from like the wrestling background, and now just some of the moves that she was doing. Like it's like a flying armbar. It's like a pretty crazy looking moves that she was pulling out here. So I'm actually would be interested to see Wren versus Kendal in the near future to kind of see both their things. But I think this no quarter catch crew thing is falling apart for Charlie. I think we need to just strip Regal Jr. here of everything and start fresh with a coat of paint on young Charles, because I think that's the route they're going. At least commentary, like Booker, like he's a broken man, he's lost everything, but kind of discrediting Wren a little bit there. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe Kendal can pull Wren away from him, and he can. Yeah, he needs to build himself back up again and be a bit meaner. I thought Kendal Gray looked good here. Wren Sinclair, I'd like to have them put more behind her, because she's always kind of in these losing positions. I'm wondering what they're doing with Izzy and Tatum here, because it's like Izzy basically tagged herself in to win the match, and then at the end of the match, they're all praising Tatum. Like, what's his name? The big guy. Nico and Sean are all like kind of patting Tatum on the back and congratulating her, and almost as if she got the win. So I don't know if they're just building her up to kind of take her down or what, but I found that interesting at the end there.
Well, the truth will ultimately prevail, but there is pain bringing it to light. That's what I always say.
You're telling me. Are you playing? It sounds like you're playing basketball there. Like you got squeaky sneakers on or something.
Hey man, why don't you fix your fucking computer? All right?
I know. I don't know.
Telling me how my chair is making. All right. Why don't you tell me what I'm fucking playing?
I legit. I'm doing this like it's a blindfold match right now. I can't see anything. It's stressful.
I'm shooting in the gym, man.
Well, I can't see a thing, and I'm just hearing like squeak, squeak. Like, are you just playing basketball?
You don't want to know what I'm doing, man. You don't want to know.
Anyway, we go to our next match: Ricky Saints versus Josh Briggs. I was surprised that I thought this might be set up for the main event, but in the middle of the show, Josh catches Ricky with a nice bossman slam. And then Ricky does his version of the schoolboy as he's strutting and posing along the top rope. Both fall to the outside as we go to commercial break. We come back and Josh has been dominating, but Ricky starts to fight back. Ricky starts running the ropes and Briggs hits him with a flying crossbody for a 2 count. They start to run the ropes again and Briggs goes for that crossbody again, but this time Ricky slides out the way and starts attacking Briggs with strikes. And he's trying to knock Briggs down any way he can. He's going for shoulder blocks, clotheslines. Nothing's taking the big man down until he delivers a flying forearm, followed by a Michinoku driver for a 2 count, which looked pretty sweet.
Very nice.
Briggs then slingshots Ricky into the ring, right into a backbreaker, and then hits his big boot, but only a 2 count. Briggs then goes for the choke slam, which gets countered into an enziguri, and Ricky follows up with the spear, goes up top, but misses the Macho Man elbow drop. We get a big choke slam from Briggs, but Ricky kicks out, and then Ricky ducks the clothesline from hell. Briggs misses a big boot, and then Ricky delivers kind of like the Destino, right? Or Operation Dragon.
Destino for sure. Tranquilo.
Followed by the Tornado DDT, and Ricky Saints pins Josh Briggs and is your number 1 contender for the NXT Championship.
Yeah, right away they show us the graphic. No mercy. This is the match. Ricky versus Oba 1-on-1. We'll get to a bit of a promo that they go back to in a sec, but really fun match. You know, Briggs is someone we've watched for a while, even before NXT, and we've always wondered what he would look like in this big man kind of singles role. From the beginning, it feels like he just kept being, I don't want to say miscast because I don't know if that's the right word there, but like we've been itching to like, okay, let's just see if you can go, because in a way he's done some matches with Oba, who's been the champion, and he's kind of like elevated Oba in the last year with that match at Stand and Deliver from WrestleMania 40 weekend. Like he's been around and he's been doing good quality stuff for a while. So it's like almost, hey, why isn't he in the main event kind of title picture? So I know he didn't win tonight, but I think it's still good that they're finally finding some proper character developments in the men's division. At least like he's a solid wrestler. So at least having him on shows where, again, not winning, but at least it's good. Like he's not some basketball player like me, apparently, shooting in the gym somewhere. Like at least he's like someone who's got his reps and he can put on like really quality, because at least this is a fun Tuesday match. At least, you know, the best match on this show or one of them. But like Ricky has been lost. He'll go and say in a little bit, or earlier he said 6 months, right? Like it's been 6 months, and he won the North American title, but he hasn't necessarily done a whole lot that's been too impressive. So like it's a good reset to just go, look, he's going for the world title here in NXT. So I like that direction. I like the match. Nitpicking is, you know, 6 years ago in NXT, everyone was doing the tornado DDT off the ropes, but he uses it as a finisher. So I'm like, what was his finisher in? Was it the Rochambeau?
Yeah, I feel this is the move he does on guys he can't get up the Rochambeau, because he ain't Rochambeauing Jasper Troy or Josh Briggs. So I think this is like a secondary finisher for the bigger guys, but I think he should try and find something else, because we see this move as like a high spot more as a finish.
It's a transition in WWE. Like we see some of the, you know, the LWO guys and all, like we see this is a common move in wrestling. Like I'm not saying if someone were to use a super kick as a finisher in 2025, it would probably be more effective than this move. Just because you see it a lot where it's like that running the ropes. It's cool, but like I like seeing the Destino. So maybe there's something there where he could work that one into it, because that's pretty cool. And it's not like Naito's using it, right? So
Dragon Lee is though on the
true. Was it Operation Dragon?
Operation Dragon.
Yeah.
I like the match. I like these two. I hope Briggs isn't forgotten about after this. I hope he is still flirting with the main event picture. I almost wonder if we could maybe go back to this feud. If Briggs, I could see Briggs maybe interfering in that main event because he's pissed off or whatever, and continue things that way. But yeah, pretty good stuff. And I think Briggs especially, I thought the Inamura match was fun on Heatwave, and that was last week, wasn't it? Last week.
Yeah.
And I thought he followed up with a good match this week.
Exactly. He's one of the like solid dudes, especially TV on Tuesday nights, that Briggs, if he's wrestling, it's usually a pretty good match. So I got to give him props for that for sure. The crowd love to hate him, so that's also adding to he's finally having some sort of, whether it's negative or positive, he's getting booed out the building most weeks. So that's also kind of working for him.
We see ZaRuca backstage, or ZaRuca Vice, Zaria ZaRuca and Lola Vice. They're getting ready for their match later, and Zaria goes, "Oh, is that Maybelline?" as they're applying makeup. "Oh, let me try some of that." Just so happens they were the ring sponsor this week as well. Lola Vice comes in
every week forever. They're like this big NXT deal, right? With that, so cool.
Lola Vice says, "Look, I got us new T-shirts as well, and it's a ZaRuca Vice shirt." And this is where Jada Parker pops up, and Lola's like, "Look, I don't want to hear it." And Jada goes, "No, I've come to give you your props. You know, you killed it on Heatwave, and I'm proud of you." She's like, "Oh, thanks. That's very nice." Anyway, but I was wondering if, and it sounds like she's going to ask for a, number one contenders match against her or something, when Lash Legend interrupts and says, "Oh, is this Jada getting soft? Must because of all of those L's." And she's like, "Oh, yeah? Well, Nia humbled your ass last week, and you must be Delulu if you think you can take me." And we see Kale Dixon and the rest of Chase U in the background. He says, "Miss Parker, don't play like that." And as as Parker is walking off, she sees Stax and Ariana Grace kissing, and she thinks it's gross.
A lot going on in this. My least favorite NXT segments are when like they try to do not only NXT Degrassi High, but the like 7 different things going on, blink if you miss it kind of thing. Like it's a lot, and they do a lot of them. But here, like this is, I don't know how many people who stands around like that and sits like that and hangs out like that. At least make it. Wrestling fans always make fun of wrestlers watching TV whenever they would cut to wrestlers, but like no one would be just. It irks me a little bit, but I get it. It's a TV show. But ZaRuca Vice is a fantastic name for this 3-piece set here. I guess so. Like Soul and Lola, Sola doesn't, ZaRuca Vice, definitely the one. They should sell these shirts, or is that bad luck? And then they break up, I guess, once they do. But
Y2AJ.
Y2AJ, definitely. I like this like little unit here, but I'm over. I think Jada said, she like feels her legs. She's like, do I have a tracking device? Why do you keep following me, Lash? So is that something we get in the near future? Is that set for next week, or is that
they've been building this a while, haven't they? They need to get to it soon.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm over this like chase. Just go to the match at least to get to it. But yeah,
we while this was all going on, Ricky Saints was still in the ring because it cuts back to him and he says,
why didn't they just did they like play this by accident? Like why didn't they just stay on him? Yeah, very strange.
He says, Oba Femi, I'm coming for you. And Oba's music hits. And then we go to commercial break. So Ricky Saints he won the match like 10 minutes ago. He's still like hanging out there. We come back and Oba's in the ring. Ricky says, people have told me as long as you are NXT champ, it starts weighing on you. And I believe it because after you almost didn't walk out as champ at Heatwave, you seem rattled. And says that no mercy, he will end the terror and reign of Oba Femi. And Oba says, when I said I see nothing in you, I lied because I saw fear. Your career is going to go to new heights because at No Mercy, I will show you that you are not special. And when you stand opposite me, you will just become an ordinary man. And I show people the true level of their talent. And I will make absolutely mediocre. And this is when Dark State show up and Dion says, we gotta cut this out now. Dark State are leading the way, and if you thought us being tag champs would make us content, no, we want more. Osiris says, you can leave now or we can make you leave. And then Saquon Sugar says they'll beat them up like Hank and Tank. And Cutler James goes to say something, and Ricky's like, nah, let's just do this. and they start to fight, but they're outnumbered when Hank and Tank run out, and the baby faces clear the ring.
Yeah, so like we said, it has Ricky winning the match from Briggs from that, and then we go to the weird Degrassi High segment, and then we come back. So that was like, all right, a little like ADHD for me. It's like, whoa, okay, all right, we're going back to him. Okay, so it's like, then he comes out, then he calls out Oba, then we go to break, then Oba comes out, and then they talk, and then they're like, okay, the match is official. Oba sets the tone, and then now Dark State. So it's just so much shit being thrown at me here. But then now clearly this tells me we're going to another one of these 8-man tags, and that, like, getting ahead of ourselves, that is official. Next week, Oba and Ricky and Hank and Tank versus all 4 of Dark State. But yeah, I find it a little weird. I think they're really, Dark State is Fetch, and they're really trying to make Fetch happen. They're like shoehorning it into Oba's title reign. And I think it would be so much more effective, at least in this case, if you just let the story be Ricky and Oba. Ricky said, Oba, I can tell you're shaking a little. You're a little nervous now. Javon had you there a little bit. You just made it out. That's the story. The guy's been unbeatable. Why do we keep trying to mix it up with Dark State just won the tag titles? Why would they even care about like this story? So I just find it's a little messy for no reason. I think the stories would be the story would be just so much more better if it was just like, the problem with Oba's reign is there hasn't been any viable contenders up until really this Javon match. And then now you finally have Ricky, who it's like, I guess you could believe he could be the one to beat Oba. But the feud is, you're also going to be tag teaming. You know, a lot of criticism for main roster is the rinse, recycle, repeat of tag team match, DQs, fucky finishes, and like it's just the same shit every week. It's like that. Dark State is become the norm on NXT of, okay, and the champion's going to team with his opponent in the pay-per-view, and then we go to the next cycle. And like, I see, Sean, your book isn't that good. Let's run some other plays in the PC.
I think my issue is
stale.
Yeah, like, you know, we've seen factions going for all the gold before. That's fine. But in this case, I can't see any of these guys at the level to be challenging Oba anytime soon. And we just did this 2 weeks ago on NXT, 3 weeks ago.
We did it the cycle before. Like, we've done it since these guys been here. Yeah.
It's the champion and challenger teaming up to take him out. It's rinse and repeat. I actually liked the promo segment because it kind of, I felt it kind of tied into what Booker T says on commentary whenever Ricky Saints is out there. And he said it again tonight. He was like, I don't like Ricky Saints. I don't get it. Seems to be all flash and no substance. And he's like, I hear about how good this guy is, but I haven't really seen it yet, which there is an element of truth in that. I think we've seen Ricky be great. And obviously he does have a star quality about him, which is flashy, but hasn't necessarily connected yet on NXT. And I kind of like Oba's promo as essentially saying that as well. Like, I'm going to expose you as just being mediocre. Now, the problem is with something like that is Ricky does need to overcome that. Not necessarily winning, but, you know, putting on a hell of a match and a hell of a story. Otherwise, it can be a little bit like, you know, Adam Cole carrying Frost promo. Where
fair enough. Nothing that bad. You know, that guy just
but you don't want to say all these things and then it turn out to be true, right? That, oh, you are all flash and there's nothing there.
Like, I couldn't imagine giving it just to Ricky, at least like he said, 6 months in NXT. And I know we've had Ethan Page come in and win this and that, but I don't know. Like, the story here was they made sure to say a few times. Ava says a few times. Javon just hasn't been like reachable. He's MIA. He's not on the show tonight. Since losing, he's kind of just, you know, wallowing his loss and thinking about it and all that. So we haven't been able to reach him, but we know he's off the show tonight. So like, maybe they play into this Javon long-term storytelling. For me, would be the right guy to, like, if you keep Oba champion all the way till Stand and Deliver, you do the rematch with Javon. I think that would be the biggest play you could. So I don't see Ricky winning this. Again, I think Javon could come back in. Maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder. Josh Briggs, you said earlier, you could dance around these four guys having some sort of four-way match at Halloween Havoc. That could be pretty cool. But ultimately, I think I'm team Javon should be the one to take it, at least right now.
I think so. He feels like the main character at the moment on the babyface side.
We could build around him. Yeah, we could like make this a whole like story if done properly. And I think that's the route they're going to go. So I think it would be refreshing for Ricky to take the title, but I just don't see that happening. But I am looking forward to a good
Briggs
match.
Getting involved. I see Briggs interfering and going to another Ricky Saints match, and then maybe Briggs being the challenger around October time.
Right. There's a long way. Like I'm thinking they're gonna keep him champion, keep Oba champion until he's moving to the main roster. Until you have plans for the Raw after Mania, this and that. Like, just keep the dominance thing going. But we need viable competitors. And Javon, now Ricky, those are the two big guns, I guess, here on our Tuesdays. So I'm okay. Like Ricky versus Oba, that's solid. Let's go with that. They did have a promo for Trick. You glossed over that they aired like, okay, look, No Mercy, Halloween Havoc, and like all these pay-per-views, and Trick kind of mentioned that he will be defending his Impact title on those shows. He is still the champion, so like he's gonna be still intertwined there somehow. So I don't know. I don't. Trick wasn't on the show. He wasn't on Heatwave. I don't see him being brought into the NXT title. So TNA, I think he's going to lose it to Santana when that does happen. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. We then get a commercial for the NXT, well, the new NXT Speed Championship. The Speed Championship's coming to NXT, explaining that to get a title match, you've got to win 2 3-minute tournament matches. And then in the championship match, it is a 5-minute limit. And we cut to Ava, who announces the first 4 women in the tournament will be Candice LeRae, Lainey Reed Candice LeRae from SmackDown, Lainey Reed from NXT, Fabia Pache from AAA, and Xia Brookside from TNA. And it's announced that next week we'll get Xia versus Candice.
So a Speed Championship tournament, the 3-minute matches and then a 5-minute matches. So they changed the format a little bit. The title matches are 5 minutes. So.
I think that's how it was. I think it was the tournament matches 3, and then I might be wrong. I never watched it, but I think it was 5 for the title.
Speed aficionado Davie Portman telling me how Speed. I don't think I did see clips. You know, it was always like here they're trying to get over. Well, it's only 3 minutes, so you have to hit moves. You have to hit cool shit. You can't just rest holds and stuff. So I don't know if it brings some excitement. Sure, I can't say I'm pumped about it, but maybe I'll be proved wrong. So.
We get Alba Fire taking on Tyra May Steele. We get a slam and gator roll to the feet from Tyra. And then she applies a bow and arrow surfboard stretch. Ethan Page on the floor gets in Tyra's face, telling her to back up. And then the ankle lock is applied from Tyra as Page and the rest of the Secret Harvest try to pull Alba to the ropes. Alba then misses a super kick and Tyra rolls her up for the win.
Yeah, pretty quick match. I didn't think too much of it here. The best part was Chelsea Green's Toronto Raptors throwback jersey dress that she made out of a jersey, it looked like. So probably said Vince Carter on the back. So respect there. Yeah, nothing too great. Tyra hit a cool German and an ankle lock at one point. They're still just going with that. Having Alba be the squash, I don't know. It's fine. But I guess the story is they're continuing this. We're going to have Tavion versus Ethan Page, I would imagine, soon because they attack him here.
This felt so flat to me compared to Sunday where they were just, and it almost felt like the crowd didn't know whether they should just continue booing or getting behind her. And instead they just sat on their hands. But yeah, this wasn't particularly exciting there. I think down the road, they will have to turn Tyra heel because to me, it's just so pandering, isn't it? This Olympic thing that's going on. After the match, Chelsea attacks Tyra, and then Tavion pulls her off and asks what her problem is. Chelsea goes to slap him when Tavion grabs the hand, and then Ethan attacks him from behind with the title belt and delivers the twisted grin before draping the Canadian flag on his fallen body.
I really like that touch. The Canadian flag over top. Again, very Lance Storm here. So not the highlight of this, but we're continuing Ethan Page and Chelsea, it feels like, together. And this is a pairing that works right away. So they should, we've said kind of already, but when something in NXT is usually good, they're going to take it and go on the road with it. So maybe they should take this act to main roster because I think something could be, he would be pretty refreshing to them together. She already is refreshing on the main roster for some people, but you add in his aggression, violent nature, and his promo skills as well. I think they worked really well together. Not really sold on Tyra, but we're going to get Ethan versus Tavion. So
yeah, it seems that way. We see Hank and Tank backstage. They go to Ava. They want a rematch for the tag titles. And Ava says that Dark State want that rematch too. And they're like, yes. They go to leave. And Ava says, no, Dark State wants all 4 of you. So they want Ricky, Oba, and Hank and Tank. She says, so you're having this 8-man match next week. And then we can talk about your tag title rematch.
As we expected. And I think you would do the rematch at No Mercy. Maybe it's just 2 of the other guys versus Hank and Tank defending the tag titles, possibly.
We see JC Jane backstage who says Ash stole the title the TNA title. And JC says, however, she did still make history, being the first and only person to hold the TNA and NXT titles at the same time. And Jasmine says, well, yes, and now I'm going to be the one to bring a second title back to Fatal Influence as I go after the Speed Championship. And JC says, no, you haven't done anything to deserve that. And Jasmine's arguing, well, you've all had a title before. It's time for me to go for one. She goes, no, obviously the person going for that title is Fallon. And Jasmine gets biting back at her. She says, no one thought you'd ever hold one belt, let alone two. And JC kind of mocks her a little bit more, and they walk off, and Jasmine's just left kind of confused about why all this bickering is taking place.
Fatal Influence arguing on NXT. Yeah.
What I found funny by this is none of them are in this first tournament for the Speed Championship. So
there'll be one down the line. Be like, I actually wanted JC to be like, no, actually, I'm in the tournament.
Yeah.
But then it's like the NXT title already has not been defended in a last little while. It feels like, at least, I guess, because the pay-per-view was the knockout title. But do you see Fallon should win that title? Let's bring some. Nyx. Let's get Nyx taking that title from Soul. Yeah, why not? After we'll talk about her wrestling in the next match. I think she earns it. She deserves it.
So we go to the main event: Fatal Influence versus ZaRuca, Zarya, and Lola Vice. Soul slams Nyx and tags in Zarya. They hit a double elbow drop, and then Zarya stands on the second rope, picking Nyx up with a sleeper. Very Brody King, Darby Allin-esque here, with the lifted up sleeper hold. Lola and JC are then going at it. A little preview of their match at No Mercy. Lola hits a springboard off the second rope into a lucha arm drag. And then JC had clearly been watching Nigel McGuinness at the weekend as she hits like a knee to the gut, followed by the lariat combo. And then Fallon goes for a shoulder in the corner, but misses, which allows Soul to ride her like a surfboard, standing on the back. As Nyx is distracting the ref, JC low bridges to send Soul to the outside and attacks her. That's where we see that Lainey Reed is watching on from the perch. After the break, Lola is set into the ring steps. Fatal Influence are dominating until Zarya finally makes the hot tag. She's delivering clotheslines, pump kicks, headbutts all round, eats a super kick from JC, and then JC comes back by just suplexing both JC and Fallon at the same time. Nyx is then tagged in and immediately slammed, and then Soul makes the tag, hitting the keg stand like that, the handstand off of Zarya's hands, right into a splash. Everyone's down. Lola Vice then comes in, hitting her spinning kicks, and then the quick kicks to JC, the quick kicks to Jasmine, and then she tells this crowd and everyone watching at home that she is in fact from the Latin Americas, as she runs her bum into the faces of everyone, and Booker T is climaxing on the desk here.
So we lost Stephanie Vaquer and the Devil's Kiss, but he helped get that move over. And now Booker T is not even hiding it. So when now Lola shakes her ass and does the ass attacks in the corner, Booker T is literally giggity, giggity, giggity. He's quagmiring all over the show now. So he's going absolutely ham. I'm sure he's going to need to order some TGI Fridays and have a smoke after NXT went off the air. But he was going mental. He was going absolutely crazy. Giggity, giggity, giggity. And Vic was like, dude, are you good, bro? Charmel watch?
Like, I was going to say, how does Charmel can't watch this show, can she? So Lola then runs into the next kick, and then there's the Shining Wizard running knee combo from Fallon and JC, but Soul just breaks up the pin. JC then gets speared by Zarya on the floor, and then Lola shoves Fallon into Jasmine, and Soul snatcher to Nyx, and Lola finishes with the spinning back fist to Fallon for the win, which she makes that move look really good. Like the Hurricane, the spinning back fist, it's been looking really good recently. So Lola Vice, the challenger at No Mercy, getting the big momentum here with the win.
You said she pinned Fallon, right? So there you go. Fallon shouldn't be in a speed title tournament. It should be Nyx, who looked good. The gimmick here was she was trying to show off to Fatal Influence, like, no, I've stepped up. And that's totally what they were trying to accomplish. And they did in this. Like, she was doing Muda locks, she was doing kicks and Matrix escapes. Like, she has definitely impressed. You know, sometimes you see people come into the PC on NXT and even on TV, and it's like, they can do like some decent stuff, but maybe they haven't progressed. And then time goes by, weeks go by, months go by, and years go by, and they still kind of look the same. That's not the case with Jasmine Nyx. She's actually really stepped up in some cool stuff. So who knows where they could go with her, but it's the speed title thing down the line would be a really great fix. But I thought this was pretty fun. I think a lot better than what I was expecting it to be. I mentioned maybe Ricky and Briggs was my favorite match on the show, but this was right up there with some of the fun stuff. I thought for sure the V-Trigger PK combo on Lola was it. And then the match kept going. And then there was other cool stuff. You had Zarya, Spears, the Soul Snatcher, the birthday girl, ZaRuca, doing the split, the handstand splits things off Zarya as well was pretty impressive. Like, I know you don't like them as like in their promos or stuff, but when they wrestle, they're pretty exciting to watch and entertaining. So I like that. Vic and Book having another weird moment here too, when Vic was like, "Oh, Booker, what did you get Soul for her birthday today?" And then Booker just pauses and he's like, What are you talking about, man? I'm not her boyfriend, man. And then Vic was like, oh, and then like started bringing up other stuff that, oh yeah, well, like, what's that pen from Chelsea earlier and this and that. But you could tell Book was like, the fuck are you trying? And then Book later is just giggity all over the place.
Yeah,
so it was like, what? All right, anyways, but yeah, pretty fun match. I think Lola versus JC is for No Mercy. Fort Lauderdale, kind of close to Miami. Do you think they pull the trigger and give Lola the title? Like,
I don't. I think she will be challenger of the month, but I like Lola. I think she's improved a lot, and I think she connects with the audience, but I don't know if we're there yet. Unless, I don't see it quite yet.
Yeah, like, it could be to get it off JC and then go to like a different heel down the line, like a Blake Monroe or something, but I still want the Fallon match. That could be something we go to with JC. So I'm kind of in the same camp that maybe that isn't the case, but I would like to be surprised if they were to do that flip, but I just don't know. Like, we have 2 long reigns right now. I know Oba's not the heel, but kind of tweener thing going on. So we need some change around, but I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match though. I thought the match was good. Lots of there's lots of great women in this, and I agree with you about Jasmine. I much prefer this approach in developmental when you've got someone who's very new and very green, but you want to get them out there to learn. Like, she's been very well protected. You know, she's been in this group. She's never like relied to just talk solely on her own, but they always give her a little bit in promo segments and stuff. And same with the matches. She's always in tags or whatever where she can go in and do some things rather than being completely overexposed, which we see from, I don't know, say a Jasper Troy, who just over the last couple of months seems to be on TV every week and it's really overexposed him. Whereas I think Jasmine has been quietly improving whilst never being on TV too much to look bad, but clearly been putting the work in as well. Because, I thought she was good here.
No, completely agree. Like, she has stepped up. She's done some really cool stuff. And I know they bring in the soccer player background and stuff, but so far it's been working. Like this, we've said the fatal influence is the better version of what we had to go through during that other stable. That was just toxic. It was just too toxic. But this group is just as toxic because now Jasmine's going to be like, look, Fallon, you lost. So screw you, essentially, to go here. But yeah, for a hangover, if I will call it that, episode of NXT coming off of Heatwave, at least right away out the jump, we're told what some of the matches are for No Mercy. Like, we got Ricky versus Oba. We got JC
Lola
versus
Lola.
Yeah, and then they announced that the ZaRuca speed thing is at No Mercy, the finals, the 5-minute match.
Okay.
I think. So you have those coming out of it. Obviously, I think the Hank and Tank rematch on that, maybe with a gimmick or something too. So 2 big title matches, at least 3 if you count the Speed title. But as always, NXT is a mixed bag for me. It's got like some solid wrestling, but then it's clouded with just Degrassi weird shit that I'm like, okay. And then there was a blindfold match, which I guess was pretty entertaining, especially that finish. But yeah, always a mixed up and down of NXT for me. But at least we know we're getting Ricky Oba. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was okay this week. I didn't think there was anything to get overly excited about. But yeah. I do like having direction. I do like setting up the matches pretty much straight away. And the Briggs Ricky match and the main event I thought were pretty good as well.
So next week on NXT, Lash Legend, Jada Parker, Candice LeRae, Zaya Brookside, and Dark State versus Hank and Tank, Oba, and Ricky. That's what we got looking forward to.
All right.
Or you got looking forward to, because I'm taking vacation. I'm not going to watch it.
I'm going to be doing the review on my birthday in the morning, I think. What's happening. So, yeah, I'm super stoked about that. We go to some feedback. We always throw up our feedback threads on our Facebook group. If you haven't joined already, why not? Go and, even if you've left Facebook, re-download Facebook and join our little group just for that. So you can leave feedback about NXT. Do you have the thread open there, Braden?
No, I didn't. I just assumed it was just Megan again, but I didn't open it. Sorry, go for it.
We have 2 pieces this week.
Oh, okay. My apologies, Megan.
Starting with Kevin, who says, decent episode of NXT, another good focus on the much hotter women's division. Was a fan of the Briggs Saints match. Excited to see Saints and Oba, though I don't see Saints getting the win at No Mercy. I find it interesting, Trick talking about all the full schedule of NXT and how he'll be at all the shows. No Mercy is the same weekend as they are doing TNA Victory Road out here in Western Canada in Edmonton. Will Trick be TNA champ at that point? Seems weird to not have their top champ at one of their classic PLEs and TV tapings, and not really an easy flight from Edmonton to Tampa. Interesting.
I mean, he was in that commercial that they aired. He was like, I'm going to be there, but maybe you're right. Maybe he doesn't show up. The TNA title isn't on the show there, but if you're going to that show, have fun, because that sounds like it would be cool.
And then we go to Megan, who says, a more focused episode than in recent weeks. The crossover stuff was kept to a minimum. Saints Briggs was solid, as well as the 6-woman tag main event on Soul's birthday. The home stretch was especially strong, with the babyface trio getting their shit in, and to continue the inner strife within Fatal Influence. Lola's excursions south of the border have polished her in-ring considerably. The full slate of shows being announced early guarantees to have more of a build to each pay-per-view, and Homecoming being sandwiched between Heatwave and No Mercy. It's too bad that the Speed title rules aren't changing. Would have been nice if it was contested in 10 minutes instead of 5. The field for this tournament is looking pretty good. Special shout out to Chelsea Green's Raptors look so fire. Absolutely. I mean, I think if you make it a 10-minute, it's just a match then, isn't it? I think
just a normal match. It's not really speedy, is it? It's
no.
Yeah. So 5 minutes, it's still kind of weird, but in that 5 minutes, we've reviewed some pretty great 5-minute minus matches in the past. So they exist. They'll be fun. We'll see how we can do with the Speed title in NXT. It's just relegated to NXT. They're like, we don't want to get rid of it just yet, but fuck it, I guess. Anyways, thanks for listening.
With like the cruiserweight title and stuff like that, haven't they?
Yeah. It's where it goes to die. It'll eventually die. Don't get it wrong, but they're gonna try to toy with it. I wish they didn't actually. Where's the Heritage Cup, by the way? We saw Stax smooching, but he didn't have
melt
no
it down into a ring.
A ring?
Did he?
That would be fantastic if that's what he did with it. Hopefully that's the direction, but more on that at a later date. Appreciate everyone out there listening here at Post Wrestling and upNXT and Poison Rana. Again, Poisonrana.ca, Poison Rana in your podcast app, your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Give us a follow, whatever it is you use, and check out all the stuff that we do. And patreon.com/PoisonRana, all the podcasts out there of all the shows that we've covered, wrestling, movie reviews, and so much more. And we have tons of shows at your ears and at your leisure, and we can't do it without the postmarks, the NXT friends, the Poison pals out there. So thank you so much. And like you said, Davey, follow the socials. He's going to be doing some shows and some stuff in the next few weeks. So we still will have some shows. It might not be on Tuesday night next week, but Davie will have some up next covering NXT week to week while I'm away. And then the Patreon shows will continue too. I know you have something big planned the week I'm away the following week as well. So WrestlePalooza 97 review coming, and then a big movie review from Davie and a friend as well over on the Patreon. So lots and lots of content, and appreciate everyone out there listening as always. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Did you fix your computer?
No, I don't know how to end this stream. I think I'm just going to close the lid and hope for the best. But
what? No, it doesn't work like that. It'll just keep streaming. You need me to log in, I think.
I think you need to log in because I can't.
Oh my God. Okay, well, keep talking for a second. Give me 1 sec. Say goodbye. Say some nice things.
Hey guys, how's it going, David? I'm talked out. I don't know.
No,
yeah, literally, it's been stuck like on this StreamYard page with just you and I's face flickering like we're possessed. It's very now you're trying to get in. I see you've got it.
I think I can end the stream. So
all right. Shall we tell everyone to take care?
On that note, everyone, appreciate, like I said, I'm gonna have some fun. So take care, goodbye, be safe, and sayonara.
Ahoy!